Nelson Mandela Bay has a rich history of reconciliation and has once again manifested in democratic change and hope for hundreds of thousands of residents to whom we owe our collective thanks and our commitment to work together for their collective and individual benefit. Our city was the first in the country to establish a transitional local council prior even to the momentous 1994 elections, which saw all councillors from all parties sign the One City Agreement, some of whom are with us here today. And to those that aren't, we pledge today to continue on the path of reconciliation and nation building that you pioneered all those years ago. People like Kevin Mbeki, Raymond Mhlaba, Angelo Dasher, Neba Faku, and Bobby Stevenson all worked together tirelessly to undo the legacy of our painful past. And for that we remain eternally grateful that you set the standard of non-racial and a unified city. After having lost our way and after this momentous election, it is our responsibility to continue this legacy and to set a new standard for better governance and service delivery for all the people of the city. This is an incredibly exciting time in our political history as we begin a new phase of multi-party endeavour to free ourselves from the impact of decades-long maladministration and corruption that have bequeathed us with a record unemployment and poverty in the city. Change, though constant, is never easy, especially when one political party has been so dominantly hegemonic for so long. This is what happened post-apartheid, and it was good for our country and city, and this that has happened here will be a change for the good of our city. Coalition governance has become a phenomenon across the world and is fast shaping the contemporary South African political landscape. And just as the late President Mandela's first cabinet included representation from a variety of political parties, so does the newly established multi-party government in Nelson Mandela Bay, led by the Democratic Alliance. This is testimony to the hard-fought determination by our coalition partners to arrest the downward trajectory that we've been in and to convince voters that change was needed. I'm honoured to be part of that change. It is humbling that in the city named after our iconic President Nelson Mandela, that it is now our responsibility to cooperate with other opposition parties in the spirit of reconciliation and redress to deliver good governance to the people of the city. I witnessed the excitement and the will of the people regarding reconciliation and cooperation in front of City Hall on Saturday the 6th of August. Ons het baie werk om te doen hier in ons stad, om daai vlakke te bereik. Daai werk begin hier en nou. Over the past year, I've committed to delivering 3 things, if elected as mayor. And now that this has come to pass, I must fulfill what I promised that we would do. I said that we would stop corruption, create jobs, and deliver better services. Ditesa uphilisa upapiliso, ukudala imisebenzi, ukuba benzela abantu inkonzo ezingcono. No elaborate grandiose promises that have little prospect of ever coming to fruition. Those 3 things will happen in this multi-party government. Corruption is the enemy of freedom and fairness and the thief of opportunity. There will be no more erosion of municipal resources due to corruption and corrupt procurement practices. There will be no more wasting of our resources on the glitz and glamour of irrelevant public events, flashy motor cars, wasteful expenditure on cadre deployment. This municipality's money will be used effectively by stretching every tax rand to achieve optimum outputs in the direct interest of every citizen. Imali yenu siza kuyisebenzisa ngehlobo elilandela umthetho nesenti yokugqibela. We will engage with the National Treasury to ensure that the forensic audit of the defunct IPTS can reach finality as soon as possible, so that we can work to resolve the 2.5 billion rand impasse that has yielded nothing in return to the benefit of the city. We will have to make these decisions dispassionately, based on relevant and appropriate professional advice on whether to try and redeem this project or to scrap it. I pledge to do this as soon as possible. Political instability in this metro has rendered the city moribund and unresponsive. It is time to lock the revolving doors of corruption, cadre deployment and cronyism and bring about a new model of administration by this multi-party government that will eschew the blight of such practices and that ushers in a model of good government based on best practice. It has always been anathema to me why the city doesn't benefit more from being the entry and exit point of the garden route. We can be much more proactive in leveraging our pivotal geographical position. Our youth are our future. We must take care of them now. As the mayor of your new government, I undertake to provide dignified sanitation to all communities by the end of 2017. It is time for this metro's 30,000 bucket toilets to go. Transparency and honesty will become the trademarks of Nelson Mandela Bay under this new multi-party government.